All right, guys. Fula coming to you with another Guerilla boxing video. Um, there's a certain reason why I prefer Cuban and Soviet fighters over and Cuban, Soviet, and certain Black American fighters over um, which one call it Mexican fighters. And I'm gonna tell you why with the trends that we see in boxing right now. I'm gonna break this down. When you look at what the boxing lesson that Ramirez got from Bivol, you look at the boxing lesson that he got. It was a one-sided boxing lesson, and in addition to that one-sided boxing lesson, Bivol or Ramirez actually thought he won the fight afterward. He thought he did enough to win the fight, and I'm like, okay, on what planet do you do enough to win the fight? So it's one thing to have confidence, right? But it's another thing that you're talking all this mess building up to the fight, prior to the fight, talking about you can bet the house on me. I'm gonna stop Bivol. I got bad news. The Canelo rematch isn't happening. This, that, and the other, and it's like, okay, bro, like I would get if you fought dudes with a post, but you fought dudes that were way past their best days when you fought them. Okay? As a matter of fact, you fought some of Bivol's leftovers. Sullivan Varela was Bivol's leftovers. Okay? You even had the audacity to say that um, Better Biev is just too flat, when really he has better footwork than you did. So, you know, what Bivol does is he doesn't say anything. He stays quiet, and by all means, Bivol has more bragging rights than Ramirez. He beat the man, right? Or what people it will let the media tell you, he's the man. But boxing fans who really love the sport and the skill of the sport say otherwise. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. But anyway, Bivol honestly would have more reason to talk than Ramirez will. But he didn't do that. What Bivol did is he just stayed quiet and talked about his aspirations and proceeded to let his hands do the talking and gave Ramirez a one sided ass whooping. And I like what Bivol did on the first round. He basically said, "What up?" You know, because I think it was a little bit of anger coming out for Ramirez talking too much. And I hate to say this, but many fighters do this. And I listen, I get it if you put your work in and you've like done your thing. Like you put your work in, you've like carved your way, right? I'll give you an example. When Floyd Mayweather was coming up, when Pretty Boy Floyd was coming up, right? He he didn't talk as much, okay? Because he was gaining his stripes, right? He was earning his stripes in the boxing. But once Floyd started moving up, and earning these belts, that's when Floyd started talking. I didn't mind Floyd talking because the work was already done. And the work was continuing to be done. Everybody talks about Floyd's work ethic. I mean, like they say his work ethic is very, very freakish. That he has a crazy, crazy work ethic. You know, so I understand that he can talk. You know, this is good. I mean, I get it. I really get it. So with him talking, you know, he had every right to talk. That's the thing. He had every right to be talking his mess because he did the work already. The work was already done, right? So when but when you have a guy like Zerto Ramirez, right? It's like, bro, who did you beat to be talking mess like that? And so it's the same thing with other fighters. Blair the Flair Cobbs is an example. He talks all this mess. He's trying to sell himself and things like that. But what he really needs to do is just be quiet. He really needs to be quiet because, um, like, bro, you won't fight Jaron Ennis, and we know what will happen when you do fight Jaron Ennis. You know what I mean? We know exactly what the result will be. So yeah, he should just like be quiet. You know what I mean? Another example that I'm going to use is I'm going to use I'm going to use Ryan Garcia. So, like with Ryan Garcia, you've ducked Devin Haney so many times. You have other fighters' name in your mouth, but you only fight like once a year. You know what I mean? Like, so you're talking all this mess, and it's like you don't even fight that often, you know? So, with that being said, you need to focus on, um, you really need to focus basically on getting your name up and getting your weight up. Okay, the thing is you've been talking all this mess, you've been saying all these things about other fighters, and you haven't even done anything for yourself. Okay, you could have been, the thing is, my thing is this, you could have been um maybe having a strap if you could have had like you could have had maybe a strap or been in contention for a strap if you did if you decided to take that route, but we know you didn't. Okay, you took the route of less resistance. I'm pretty sure Devin Haney would have been willing to fight you, but instead you decided that you wanted to do other things. Now, another fighter who falls in uh another fighter who falls into that category who just like won't shut up and hasn't done anything to really talk but still talks, nonetheless, is what's his name? Trying to think. It's another guy. Um, trying to remember. Well, if I say Teofimo Lopez, when he was undisputed, or, well, he wasn't undisputed. Let's just say that. But when he beat Vasily Lomachenko, yeah, he could talk. He can talk. You know, he earned that right. He earned that right to talk. He earned that right to, have that, you know, that right to trash talk. But when you when you basically when you basically lost to Cambosis, right? That went away. Instead of talking, you should have found your way to like get back into contention. But no, you're talking about Devin Haney, and you're also talking about saying that Shakur Stevenson will do better at 135 than Devin Haney, and Devin Haney hasn't even left the division yet. In fact, I believe that Devin Haney is negotiating with Vasily Lomachenko, and hopefully we can get that fight, and hopefully that fight will silence a lot of things, and hopefully he will beat him better than what Teofimo did. Okay, but I'm just gonna say this: when you look at guys like Beterbiev, when you look at guys like Bivol, when you look at guys like Duran Ennis, when you look at guys like who's another guy who I can put in that category, David Morrell. When you look at guys like that, they're not really talking that much, but they're getting it done. That's the thing. And we know boxing is an entertainment business, but when you're when you basically have no right to be talking based on like the amount of work you did, or we should say lack thereof work, you should just shut up. Because for a real boxing fan, it gets annoying after a while. You know what I mean? I was getting annoyed. I'm not gonna lie, I was getting annoyed with Zerto talking so much shit. You know, I'm like, man, will this dude shut up? He's gonna get his ass whooped. You know? I didn't give him a chance. And I especially just saw something as I'm rewatching this fight to study and do the homework on the fight. But he doesn't even that dude didn't even take his feet with him when he was punching. That's why Bivol was countering him. So like let this be a life lesson. Yeah, I'm gonna end on this quote. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna save this quote, man. I forgot about this quote. Just give me a second. I'm actually gonna save this quote. Hold on just a minute. I'm actually gonna save it. Let me find it. Hold on, just a minute. Okay. Sorry it's taking so long. I'm just looking for the quote. Okay, let me see. It was a very profound quote, you know. It was very profound. Okay, here it is. So, Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, he said, he said, may Allah bless the man who says less and does more. And I'm gonna be honest, in this social media age, unfortunately, that will go over a lot of people's heads. But you look at these fighters like Beterbiev, Bivol, um, Jerome Businis. They're trying to do more. Okay, one's a unified champion. One nobody wants to fight. The other one beat two um beat a former Golden Boy fighter and then beat a current Golden Boy fighter. And that former Golden Boy fighter was thought to be the face of boxing, and then the current Golden Boy fighter was thought to be the one who was going to pick up the slack. But we saw how padded his record is by Dmitry Bivol. So these guys are actually doing it, you know, and unfortunately, it's going over a lot of people's heads because they don't talk a lot. And it's unfortunate, but you know, those are the type of fighters I like. You know, that's just me personally. But other people have different opinions. You know what I mean? But for me, you know, those are the guys I like. But anyhow, man, let me know what y'all think. Foolish signing out. Unjaram.